The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
Before he left, I mean, we'd have IEDs go off, virtually every day, but they were going off in front of the trucks. Following his disappearance, IEDs started going off directly under the trucks.
The prisoner swap chaos continues. There's a classified report about Sergeant Bergdahl possibly collaborating with the Taliban. And some soldiers in his unit believe he did that. We will have a special report.
I strongly believe that we should have been consulted, that the law should have been followed.
Even some Democratic senators are furious that President Obama did not consult with Congress before releasing 5 Taliban war criminals. We'll update you on that.
I'd like to deliver this petition to you.
Of course, I will get it. Yes,
this is
sir.
180,000 signatures from Americans urging the release of the Marine Sergeant Andrew Tamarici.
Also tonight, Jesse Waters confronting the Mexican authorities in America about the imprisoned Marine and whether he will be released.
Please make sure this gets the attention and respect that it deserves.
Caution. You are about to enter the no-spin zone. The Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. The prisoner swap fracas continues. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. It is becoming clear that the Obama administration's severely miscalculated reaction to trading a suspected deserter, Sergeant Bo Bergdahl, for 5 Taliban war criminals. The president in Europe this week is getting pounded from all sides. Here's powerful Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein.
The concerns were bipartisan, and I strongly believe that we should have been consulted, that the law should have been followed, and I very much regret that that was not the case.
To be fair, some Democrats are standing behind the president. Senator Harry Reid leads the league in that department.
Opponents of President Obama have seized upon the release of an American prisoner of war, that's what he was, using what should be a moment of unity and celebration of our nation as a chance to play political games.
But this story is much more than political gamesmanship. Sergeant Bergdahl definitely deserted his post. There's no question about that. Here he is in release video. He's blinking because he was probably blindfolded. There's a Taliban captor walking him over to the U.S. forces over the weekend. Bergdahl may have even collaborated with the enemy, the Taliban. That has been investigated, and there is a classified report on the situation. Yesterday at the State Department, spokesperson Marie Harf was besieged with questions.
You've had all this time, 5 years, to determine whether he was a deserter or not. That's a long time.
He's been in captivity, Lucas. I think he's probably the person who knows best what happened on that night.
Well, I think his squad mates have the best indication what happened.
I don't think that's the case.
Ms. Harf's entitled to her opinion, but public opinion has definitely turned against the sergeant and the swap in general. In a Rasmussen poll, 43% of Americans now oppose the swap. 40% say it's okay. 17%, a big number, don't know. And that number is going to change. More will come out against. Wait and see. Talking Points believes that Sergeant Bergdahl and his father, Robert, opposed America's presence in Afghanistan. There is enough evidence to prove that. The question is how far did Sergeant Bergdahl take his dissent? The military should investigate that to its fullest extent. Now on to the big picture. Once again, the Obama administration has botched an important decision. Even the president admits the 5 released Taliban war criminals might kill again. And his administration has embarrassed itself by saying Sergeant Bergdahl served with honor. He did not. Whatever the circumstances, what he did, leaving his unit, was wrong. So, this is another big mess for which Mr. Obama is directly responsible. Is his administration at the tipping point? I believe it is. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. We asked Senator Feinstein to appear this evening. I've always had a good relationship with her, but she declined, citing a busy schedule. Joining us now from Washington is Senator John McCain, who, of course, was a prisoner of war for 5 years in North Vietnam. So I wanted you and Senator Feinstein on together to present a bipartisan front about the issue. But since she passed, the floor is yours, Senator. How do you process all this?
Well, first of all, I understand why Senator Feinstein and Senator Chambliss should be upset. It's their responsibilities as co-chairman of the Intelligence Committee. But my problem, frankly, is this whole issue of whether these individuals will be back in the fight. Everybody knows they will be, Bill. They were now in Qatar, where there's a Taliban office. After a year, they're free to go. These are the hardest of hardcore. And for the President of the United States to enter into a deal where he now says they might re-enter the fight is really stunning to me, because I don't think we should ever release anyone who there's the slightest chance of them posing a threat to the men and women who are serving in the military.
Even at the extent of a guy's life? I mean, look, the way the president's portraying it is that the sergeant's life was in danger. His health was deteriorating. He had to move fast, or the deal might have fallen apart. And you don't leave behind an American military person, no matter what the circumstances. How do you answer that?
I answer that I am very grateful that Sergeant Bergdahl is back. My heart goes out to his family. But the responsibility of the commander-in-chief is to make tough decisions. And those decisions place first priority on national security. In other words, I would have made efforts to arrange for a prisoner exchange, depending on what it was, but not at the expense of putting American fighting men and women in greater danger as a result of this.
Right.
You know, this admiral said, well, when a guy falls overboard, it doesn't matter how he fell overboard. Well, look, not if that ship is in battle with the enemy, not if that ship may go into harm's way like mines if they went after him. First, you take care of national security, then you take care of the individual. Unfortunately, that's the nature of war, which is a very cruel business.
Now, you, as a prisoner of war in North Vietnam, saw some of the other prisoners collaborate with the North Vietnamese. You yourself saw it happen, and it was under duress. I don't know if there was anybody there voluntarily collaborating. I don't believe there was. So you have empathy for this Bergdahl, I would believe, being held for 5 years. That's an enormous amount of time. However, as I said, I believe that it is going to be shown. I believe it's already known, but it's classified. They got a classified report on this guy, that he voluntarily skipped, went up there and did whatever he did. So do you have sympathy for this Bergdahl guy?
Oh, I have some sympathy for human frailties. We're all have our weaknesses, but if those allegations are true, and I emphasize if, and I'm making no judgments, and it actually caused the deaths of other American servicemen and women, there has to be a complete investigation. But look, what bothers me more, what I want to see revealed, is the assessments of these 5 people who were clearly judged as risks to the security and men and women in the United States of America if they were released. I want to see those classified studies released, which led the people who studied their cases to conclude that they posed a direct risk to the United States of America and would re-enter the fight. I'd remind you, Bill, that 30% of those released already have re-entered the fight and re-entered in leadership positions.
Yeah, those
and
released from
Al-Qaeda has spread everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, those released from Guantanamo.
All right, but look, you know what it's going to say, even though it's classified. These 5 Taliban guys are classified information. You know what it's going to say. All of them, we have their resumes. We know they're all killers. And we know they'll all go back. So there's no doubt about that. What we don't know is Bergdahl's, the extent of what he did, although there's evidence coming out now. I think that should be unclassified. His investigation should be unclassified right now, because if we're a free society, if you, Senator McCain, and President Obama are representing we the people, we have to know the facts about a story of this magnitude. Tell us, A, what you said, how bad are these guys, and B, what Bergdahl did. Shouldn't we know that?
Absolutely, but we should also know, if these conclusions are correct, why in the world did the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and why did the President of the United States and the head of the CIA, why did they agree to release these guys
they're going to say
putting the Americans in jail?
We don't leave the guy behind.
I mean,
they already said it. They're not going to change that.
But that counters everything that the military and this war that we're in with Al-Qaeda and Muslim extremism is all about. You are putting American lives in danger. To me, that's reprehensible.
Last question. Is this the biggest scandal now? Is this going to blow up into a huge story? I know the folks are angry from coast to coast, both sides. Both sides. Do you believe this is, or is this just going to go away like Benghazi and the IRS thing, or is it different than that?
I don't think it's going away. I don't think the VA thing is going away. I think there's more shoes to drop from that centipede. And I'm happy to tell you I'm working very hard across the aisle to try to come up with a fix to the scandal of the Veterans Administration.
All right, Senator. We appreciate you coming on tonight. We hope Dianne Feinstein, the senator from California, does come on the Factor. Next on the rundown, James Rosen has been investigating the status of Sergeant Bergdahl. It's classified, as we mentioned. Later, Miller will weigh in on all the chaos and take some of your questions for him as well. Factor's coming right back.